Now, Sue, I want to start with you. You're part of a big volunteer brigade. I mean, how does this work? How did you ever come to be out here saving lives?
Well, it started in January, really. Dave Francis, our head flood warden, who is a volunteer but knows the village extremely well. I'm very good friends with him. Obviously, he needed support in terms of taking calls because he was needing to be out on the job. So it started in January. Then we decided we needed to be more organised, so we called the meeting actually before we even got the flood warning this time. And so yesterday, I can't believe it's only yesterday, we pulled a meeting together, called the residents in, and we formulated a plan. And
so this is the community basically rallying to the needs of the community.
There is only the community here. There is nobody else here.
Nobody else, Adam Afria.
I've been around the whole constituency today, and the fire service is out in certain places. There are a certain number of police officers, but one thing I've been hearing across the constituency, and I'm hearing it here as well, is that there isn't a big enough visible presence at the moment. So I heard in your earlier report that there are reports that the Army will be here this evening to help in Wraysbury.
The Army is always going to be somewhere. It was going to be on the Somerset levels, going to be in Cornwall, and it's going to be here in Wraysbury, but...
And you make the point precisely, is that people want to see it visibly, they don't just want to hear about it. But the amazing thing about here in Wraysbury, in Old Windsor, in Ham Island, in Datchet, is the community is really working hard. I mean, literally hundreds of volunteers. I've been down to thank them tonight. You have some of them here this evening, and I think it's giving some reassurance to residents, but I think there needs to be more done with a visible presence and better coordination.
Mr. Garman, you're a victim.
Gilligan.
It's Gilligan. Mr. Gilligan. I'm sorry, Mr. Garman's not there, but Mr. Gilligan, you're a victim.
I am, for the second time this year, and it's only February, yeah. January, where the extension to the house all have flooded in January, and then now this time it's into my house, so the whole house is flooded now.
Is your house in the wrong place, or the river's in the wrong place, and who do you blame?
I don't know who to blame. I've no idea what the Environment Agency do. I've been on their website and I'm just not quite sure. I thought it was to support people like me at times of trouble like this and in trying to prevent it ever happening. But it's happened twice within 4 weeks. And to be quite honest, I echo Sue's comments. I haven't seen anybody from the Environment Agency. I've seen very few people. Well, the only people I've seen are the volunteers, like at the Olympic Games.
Well, you raise a very interesting issue here. Josh Garman, you're from Greenpeace. Here we have a situation in which he's been flooded. Bruce has been flooded twice. This is an event which has happened last year and the year before. Is this the new norm, and to what do you ascribe it?
Yeah, I mean, the Met Office said yesterday that there is clearly evidence suggesting this is linked to climate change. And actually, we haven't seen anything like this for 248 years in this country. And we're not alone in the UK at seeing extreme weather. In Australia, they've just experienced their hottest year ever, record droughts in California. 13 of the 14 warmest years globally on record have been in the last 14 years. We're seeing 2/3 of Arctic sea ice melting, disappearing in the last 30 years alone.
But your problem is you can prove climate change. It's man that's the problem, and we can't prove that.
Well, actually, you know, what the Met Office was saying yesterday is there is plenty of evidence to suggest that warming oceans, warming atmosphere leads to increased numbers of these extreme rainfall events. And I think, you know, in the same way that when somebody dies of lung cancer when they're a smoker, you can't say for certain which pack of cigarettes caused them to die. You know that you're loading the dice, you're increasing the risk when you're smoking. And when you're pumping carbon into the atmosphere, you're increasing the risk of these kinds of extreme weather events.
Well now, Adam, you're the Minister of the Environment, who's responsible for this, is himself a sceptic on climate change. What about you?
You know, I'm really not comfortable tonight, John, talking about climate change because these are bigger issues to be talked about in the longer term.
Well,
tonight, what we have is flooding. We have people fleeing their houses. We have hundreds of volunteers on the street. We have danger to life. I think it's more important that we focus our efforts and our energies on looking at that. And when it comes to climate change, which is an incredibly important issue, that we build that into the Environment Agency and political planning for the future.
Sue, I get this sense that you're smouldering.
Yes, I probably
Why?
give that impression. Because, you know, we're 24 hours on. I haven't been in my house since 6:45 this morning because there is only us here. I appreciate what Adam is saying, that there has been presence here. I am working with our head flood warden, Dave Francis. If we don't know they're here, they are not here. We have 4 police officers. We are having people loot our sandbags before they even reach us. We have not got the help we need, and we need help now.
I know you're bursting to get in.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Well, the fact is, the Environment Secretary, a climate change skeptic, has had his advisors warning that we're going to see more and more homes at risk of climate change and that we need to be increasing the flood defence budgets. And instead he's cutting.
Because I can tell you we've actually got a massive carbon emission going overhead right now in the form of a jet.